Member for Timiskaming Cochrane.
My question is to the Premier. Last Friday, there was the documents demanded by the Select Committee were provided to the committee, the equivalent of 1 million pages. On Monday, there was a request by several agencies that, due to their commercially sensitive nature, that these documents not be made public. As a business person, that made sense. They're commercially sensitive. We made that case at the committee. Quite frankly, I was shocked that the government members of the committee forced it through, releasing 1 million pages of documentation to the public. Premier, why did you direct your members to do that? Because it certainly isn't Business 101.
Once again, I remind members to make their comments through the chair. Premier, response.
Minister of Government Services.
Government Services.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. As you know, and as the members know, the Select Committee is currently meeting to look into the mistakes that have been made and the decisions that were made, quite honestly, over the last 15 years by the previous Liberal government when it comes to playing with the finances of the province of Ontario and not ensuring that the numbers that were being signed off on by the officers of the legislature were an accurate reflection of what the government's books actually were. That's why it was very important for us to strike this Select Committee, Mr. Speaker, to get to the bottom of the decisions that were made by the previous Liberal government. We have a $15 billion deficit in Ontario now, and the numbers that were given to us by the previous government, they weren't signed off on at Public Accounts, Mr. Speaker, and the Auditor General refused to sign off on those documents. That's why we need to get our hands on those documents to ensure that we get to the bottom of what happened under the Liberal government.
Supplementary.
Once again, to the Premier, and we're talking not about mistakes of the past government, we're talking about mistakes were made by this government at the committee. So on Monday, the government that claims to understand business releases the equivalent of 1 million pages of possibly some of the information commercially sensitive and private. On Tuesday, we come to the committee, and one of those agencies, and I will read from the letter from the ISO, we have discovered that confidential and commercially sensitive information that could jeopardize the ISO's very important relationship with electrical sector participants has been disclosed to the public by the committee, forced through by your members. For 24 hours, you've put up in a very competitive business. I'm just a dairy farmer, and I understand that that is crazy. Why, Premier? Why did you allow that to happen?
Once again, I'll ask members to make their comments through the chair. Premier. Government House Leader, respond.
Keep yapping, you're going to get
Speaker, the first thing I would say is there's no such thing as just a dairy farmer. We respect our dairy farmers across the province, including the member opposite. What I would say, though, is that we really want to get to the bottom of what occurred by the previous government. And that's why we have ordered the documents that we've ordered, over 1 million documents. And I can understand, Mr. Speaker, why the NDP doesn't want us to shine a light on what happened under the previous Liberal government. And the reason that they don't want to shine the light on that is because they are complicit. They are complicit in what occurred under the previous government. The NDP don't want to have any light shone on this situation, Mr. Speaker. We want to get to the bottom of what happened, and we're committed to doing that for the people of Ontario.